the secret mission to Mars. Aiden's first steps on Mars are met with an eerie silence that swallows every sound. As he surveys the desolate landscape, a sense of dread washes over him. The red dust seems to stir, forming cryptic symbols that vanish as quickly as they appear. At night, the darkness is absolute, and Aiden feels an oppressive presence, as if the planet itself is resenting his intrusion. Whispers of a long-dead civilization echo through the void, and Aiden can't shake the feeling that something ancient and malevolent has awakened to his presence. As night falls on Mars, Aiden's solitude is shattered by a haunting silence that seems to press against the walls of the habitat. In the oppressive quiet, a sudden burst of static from the communication console makes him jump. Between the crackles, he hears what sounds like a scream, a human scream, cutting through the Martian night. It's abruptly silenced, leaving Aiden in a cold sweat, questioning if he really heard it or if the red planet is playing tricks on his mind. In the dead of the Martian night, Aiden is jolted awake by the sensation of icy fingers tracing his spine. The habitat's temperature controls are malfunctioning, plunging the room into a freezing cold that seems to seep into his very bones. As he rises to investigate, the walls appear to pulsate with a ghostly light, and his breath comes out in visible puffs, forming words in the air before him. Return what was taken. Aiden's heart races as he realizes that the ghost of Mars doesn't just haunt the planet, it haunts him. Aiden awakens to a cacophony of whispers flooding the habitat's intercom. The voices are guttural, filled with an ancient malice that transcends language. As he listens, frozen in fear, the whispers coalesce into a clear threat. We see you, walker of worlds. You tread upon graves. The habitat's lights flicker, casting long shadows that seem to writhe and reach for him. Aiden's breath catches as he feels an unseen gaze upon him, full of hatred and hunger for the living. The dust storm rages with a ferocity that shakes the very foundations of the habitat. Aiden watches in horror as ghostly figures emerge from the swirling sands, their eyes burning with an otherworldly glow. They press against the glass, their mouths open in silent screams, and their hands leave smears on the surface as they seek entry. The habitat systems flicker under the strain, and Aiden hears his own heartbeat thundering in his ears. He realizes with dread that the storm isn't just a natural phenomenon. It's a manifestation of the Martian specter's wrath, and they are coming for him. Aiden's mind is no longer his own. He's plagued by visions of a great Martian empire, brought to ruin by a catastrophic event. The ghost that haunts him is the last emperor, cursed to wander the dead world. In a trance, Aiden scrawls cryptic Martian runes all over the habitat. He's tormented by the Emperor's memories, feeling the despair of a dying planet. The ghost's grip tightens, and Aiden's reflections in the habitat's windows no longer show his face, but the twisted visage of the Martian ruler, filled with sorrow and a thirst for vengeance. The habitat's air grows thick with a palpable dread. Aiden's voice recorder captures his own voice in the dead of night, speaking in tongues that echo with the weight of millennia. The words are not his, but those of the Martian specter, recounting the fall of its empire in a guttural lament. The habitat's walls bleed shadows that twist into grotesque forms, and Aiden's reflection is no longer his own. His eyes, once full of human warmth, now burn with a cold, alien light. He records himself in the mirror, his movements no longer his own, as he enacts strange rituals of a forgotten Martian cult, preparing for a resurrection that could spell doom for all who follow in his footsteps to the Red Planet. The Martian night never seemed darker as Aiden, now a mere shell of his former self, struggles against the spectral force within. The habitat systems begin to fail, one by one, as if sabotaged by an unseen hand. Aiden's voice, once filled with determination, now croaks out ancient Martian dirges that resonate with the sorrow of a dead world. The walls of the habitat bleed a thick, black substance that defies explanation, and the air is thick with the scent of decay. In a last act of defiance, Aiden records a message to Earth, his voice barely human, warning of the malevolent force that has claimed Mars as its tomb. As the recording ends, a shadow envelopes him, and his screams are swallowed by the void. The rescue team arrives to a habitat shrouded in an unnatural darkness. Inside, they find the walls covered in frenzied scratch marks and ancient Martian symbols that seem to pulse with a life of their own. The air is heavy with an inexplicable sense of dread. Aiden's final log plays, his voice unrecognizable, filled with terror and pain, ending in a scream that seems to echo endlessly. The team searches but finds no trace of him, only a camera with its lens shattered as if by a powerful force. The last image it captured is of Aiden, eyes wide with fear, as a shadowy figure looms over him, its hands reaching out not through the camera, but towards the viewer, as if whatever haunted Aiden is now aware of a new presence. Watching, waiting, unbound by the confines of the screen. Like and subscribe.